Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have the BRO results over the past weekend for Standard. So we're going to cover Asia, Europe and North America, the top 8 and the top 4 standings as well. And exclusively for this video, I am going to go through the deck that I brought for BRO. So I came top 8 in the North American region, went through a midnight full of like 8 Swiss games or something, went 7-1, and just kind of go through not so much the deck, but the concept of how I came up with the deck and why I played the deck for the tournament. So yeah, feel free to look at that in the second section of this video. But yeah, that's pretty much what we're going to be covering for this video. If you guys need any coaching for the BCS season is starting as of this weekend, which is BCS Toronto. If you guys need any coaching though, hit me up on my Metafy. Link is in the bottom right hand corner and in the descriptions. Feel free to book a session and we can get started on your season. So this is the top 8 for AO. So there's actually not as many Gandivas as I thought there would be. But there is actually another deck that actually quite surprised me about like the amount of decks or the amount of people bringing that deck and actually topping with it. And that is Zorga. So 2 Gandiva, 2 Zorgas, 1 Willista, Jet, Hexor Orb, and Laronarol. That's a that's a pretty crazy one. So I actually thought that Zorga wouldn't be this, big deck that people will bring. But then when I looked at it, after the event, I was like, okay, well, Zorga is good because a lot of people play it, and a lot of people invest their time into the deck, and if you do, then you're obviously going to get better results than people who just randomly pick up the deck and play it, right? So yeah, very interesting to see a lot of Zorgas, and it blew my mind because I think I've versed 2 Zorgas in I think the last 2 rounds or something. It was pretty crazy. So yeah, my last 2 rounds of Swiss were 2 Zorgas, but the fact that I'm seeing so many Zorgas in top 8, it's pretty mind-blowing to me. Anyways, going to the top 4. So first was won by Jet, second was Zorga. So seeing Zorga come second is pretty baffling, actually. Not in a bad way, right? Because I'm thinking, why isn't Gandiva there? Why isn't, Willista there? It's Zorga. So why, right? The question is why. So yeah, it still, mind blows me that, Zorga did this well. And the representation of Zorga, if you're a Zorga fan, this is where it's at, man. This is Zorga at its best, right? And this is probably something that we'll see coming into the BCS season. A lot of people will start bringing Zorga because it's done so well for the Bushiroad Rumble Online. So second was Zorga, third was Laronarol, that's very surprising, and then fourth was Zorga. So no Gandivas, no Willistas. That is actually mind-boggling. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. Then jumping into Europe. So this is where we see more Willista, more of the stuff that I expect to see, right? The 3 Willista, 2 Jet, and again, 1 Zorga. Zorga is just this deck that I personally don't think that Zorga is that great, right? But these people are proving me wrong, and they're getting the results, So, and then followed by 1 Messiah and 1 Eva. And then the top 4, first was Willista, as expected. This is the deck that should be winning. And then second was Messiah, third was Willista, and then fourth was Jet. So this is like kind of the representation that I want to see, right? This is what we expect to see, yeah? Willista coming first, that's what I expect to see. No Gandivas, which is pretty surprising. The fact that, none of the top 8 brought Gandiva or even converted with Gandiva, that's pretty surprising as well. And then jumping into top 8 standard for North America, this is the one that I played in. So I'm one of the 5 Willistas over there. So 5 Willistas, this is crazy. This is a insane number. NA was very sweaty. Lots of Willistas. I think I played 2 Willista mirrors, 2 Gandivas, 2 Zorga masks, and I think I played 1 Hexor Orb and an Overlord, I think it was. Yeah, pretty crazy. But yeah, 5 Willistas, 2 Gandivas, and 1 Zorga. 3 of probably the most defined decks now in standard, especially in English. I think if you're going to BCS in the earlier parts of the season, these are the 3 decks that you probably have to, look out for and keep an eye out, because these are the 3, bigger decks in the format at the moment. Obviously, tag along with Jet, Messiah as well. These decks are very, very good. And then looking at the top 4, so first was Willista, second was Gandiva. So Gandiva finally got, top 4 placing, and then Willista came 3rd and 4th as well. Actually, I think Kai and Mana swapped, so I think Mana came 4th, Kai came 3rd, I think. Kai was the person that I lost in Swiss, as well as my top 8. So good to see that he's doing well as well. So yeah, my conclusions on the BRO standard tops, I guess. Not what I expected to see. I actually thought there'd be slightly more Gandiva, and a lot of the Zorga Mask really surprised me. I actually didn't think that would be, Zorga Mask. So maybe I'm just underplaying the deck at the moment. So yeah, this is the meta going forward, and with inclusions of Minerva, I think Minerva is a really, really good deck coming into the BCS season. So you'll probably see a lot of the portions being Minerva, or part of Willista goes to Minerva. But yeah, Willista, Gandiva still the best decks at the moment, and touch along with Zorga and some of the others. Now we're just going to go through the deck that I played. So I decided to bring Willista. So the deck code is 25YG. You can also search on the VG Paradox or Fuzzy's website for this list. Pretty stock standard Willista list. So I'm not going to explain too much into it. There's actually nothing at the back of this camera bit. So it's just Elementary and that's it. That's the end of the list. So why did I bring Willista? And the easiest answer is it has early game, right? Early game to battle against Jet, to battle against Messiah, to battle against Gandiva. Those are the 3 decks that at the moment, if you put in early game pressure, they actually crack. Like, these decks just fall apart, right? And the one deck that hits ridiculous numbers is Willista. And hence why I decided to play 4 Romana, right? A lot of decks play 3, some even play 2 Romana, and I think that is really bad for the meta at the moment. The meta at the moment, there are 3 decks that are very slow or slow-ish, and then there's Willista that is completely cracked, absolutely so quick, and there is no reason why to not run Romana at 4, because then you'll see it, right? There were discussions that I would have cut 1 Romana for 1 Trixie, but to be honest, if you are not hard drawing your, persona right, if you're not bouncing it with your Yuikas, if you're not getting your gems, then you're pretty much, the deck just falls, right? So I wanted to max out on Romana. Didn't want to max out too much on the Yuika either, because there are certain situations where Yuika is nice, especially in the Gandiva matchup, where if you place double Yuika on the 2 sides, you can actually protect your front row and then just leave your back row of 2 grade 1s. The importance of that is that Gandiva can only spot retire 1 and 1 at a time. They can't multi-retire, which means that their best harvest is actually weaker, right? So that's pretty much the reason why I brought Willista to this tournament. And to be honest, it is very, very easy. It is a very straightforward deck. And to be honest, coming from, been playing Pokemon a lot recently, I found that sequencing is probably the most important, concept to this deck. If you know how to sequence which actions first, which actions after to min-max, like this deck is just so easy, right? I also took into consideration that I'll be playing in an opposite time zone. So I'll be playing to midnight to, the next morning. So I wanted to play a deck that was very straightforward, no technical gameplay, just very straightforward, easy to play, and I can get through, 8 rounds of Swiss, and I did. So yeah, that's pretty much why I brought Willista. I ended up bringing 8 of the vanilla crits. I didn't use the effect crits purely because there were times where I could just place it behind my Willista Vanguard, and sure, Willista's already big, itself is 33, Persona Ride 43 because of the gem skill, well, her skill with the gem. But the fact that I can bump it up by 5 instead of 4, I don't ever want to really put the one at the back into Soul. And usually on the sides I have like my Elvira or my Yuika. So I don't really want to play my effect crits ever. So it's better to have it as a 5k base, as a booster, than it is having a 4K with an effect that I'll never use, right? Because all of my back row rear guards will always be this, Elvira, or my Yuika. It's just that simple, right? Everything else is stock standard. You know, if you're playing Willista, you have to play for Ophelia, for Cycler card. The Cycler card is busted. But yeah, I played the blue OT instead of the lyrical OT because this card, if you check it and you are like a turn behind from killing, the fact that you can get any card from the bin back to your hand is like the difference maker between a win, a loss and a win, right? You're already on the back foot and you're already losing. So in a losing situation, if you hit this OT and somehow get a free card from the drop back to your hand, whether that's a perfect guard, a gem, like a persona ride, whatever the case may be, that is actually so game changing, right? So if you don't kill your opponent, you know, and then it goes back to their turn, let's just say the Gandiva with massive numbers, you know, you only have like 3 PGs or 3 PGs in your hand, you have to guard 4 attacks, and you just don't have it, you check this and you get your 3rd PG, 3 PGs and guard the last one, like that is a huge difference maker. So yeah, that's pretty much why I played the blue OT. I tested it with the lyrical OT, and to be honest, knowing my luck, I never checked the OT anyways, and funnily enough, the only times I checked the OT during Swiss were times where it didn't matter, which is kind of annoying, but I guess it's, you know, keeps the game clean, which is good. So yeah, that's why I brought the blue overtrigger over the lyrical one. Lyrical one, I just never hit it. Never hit it early enough, and yeah, it's just not feasible for me, for this deck anyways. Playing fronts, because fronts are pretty busted, this deck actually generates a lot of advantage. I like never play cards from hand because my Willista generates my board anyways. And then, you know, you just keep stacking up with Elvira and yeah, just farm the crap out of this deck. The deck compression for this deck is ridiculous. So yeah, that's pretty much the deck itself. Just looking through my tournament run, I think the first matchup was a Gandiva and then a Willista. And then I think I went into Hex Orb, then Willista. So the Willista was Kai, not WCC Kai, a different Kai. He beat me, and then I played into Overlord, and then I went into a Gandiva, and then Zorgomask. So yeah, that's pretty much my tournament run for the BRO North American circuit, so to say. I think this is the only BRO I'm able to play, potentially. Don't hold me to that. There might be the premium one that I can play, but depending on schedules, obviously. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Yeah, hopefully it actually gave you some insight on, you know, what my thoughts are, you know, walking into, you know, a big event, right? Obviously BCS is coming up. You know, people are on the nerves, you know, don't know what deck to play, undecided because, you know, X, Y, and Z, and, you know, these are some of the concepts that I, you know, think to myself, hey, this is why I'm bringing the deck. This is, you know, better than X, Y, and Z, and, you know, I'm just gonna go with it, right? And then there are reasonings to back that up. So yeah, hopefully that, you know, that bit about the, you know, the deck builds and why I brought the deck is helpful for you guys. And you know, if you guys like this video, click that like button, comment down below what you guys think of the BRO results, and you know, obviously the deck that I bought, it's nothing special, it's just Willista. If you guys haven't done it already, pop the subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.